Hey, this is Neil's on Dynasty. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium. Like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Don't listen to me. Everything I say is to be taken as bull crap. This is for fun, not for profit or health. Now I got all the disclaimers out of the way. We can go ahead and get with this first story. It is about, let's see, it's Reno 4, just give them a heads up, 4 days ago. Behind the scenes of Nevada gold mine, 2,200 feet. That's only 700 meters. The African platinum mines go 3 times steeper than this, so it makes you wonder how expensive it is for them to mine.
Nevada's history is rich with mining, but even to this day, we continue to be the biggest gold producer in the country. And today we're going underground into one of the largest operating gold mines in the Silver State.
It's a pretty good mine. I mean,
An hour outside Winnemucca sits a treasure trove. Welcome to Turquoise Ridge, one of over 100 mines scattered across rural Nevada. This one is a joint venture between Barrick Gold and Newmont Mining. The general manager of the mine is Anton Kruger.
So it started in the 1930s with open pit operations near the Getchell mine. From there, operations moved progressively underground. The start of the current Turquoise Ridge mine was in the late 90s, and we've been mining Turquoise Ridge underground since the 90s. So at the moment, the mine's got a mine life.
If you're paying more than $42 a month for home insurance, you're getting
ripped off. This is just, look at the sites they have. This is in Nevada. Look at all the tram lines they have and all the beltways they have to get the ore out of the ground from 2,200 feet. It's an amazing process.
Stretching up to 2050 about. We refer to
those machines.
These kind of mines as tier 1 operations. This essentially means it's got a production output of about 500,000 ounces a year for at least 10 years at better than average industry cost.
Before construction, geologists start the process by taking core samples and mapping.
And see, this mapping you're seeing right here is the same thing that Clean Air Metals is doing, but yet their platinum, palladium, and silver and copper deposits that they're getting are more significant than what you're seeing here in these guys' layout for plan development and all this other stuff.
Mapping out the possible mineral resources. It started with 2 shafts, but today we're going into the newer 3rd shaft built in the last 5 years.
So Brella just called for the hoistman. He's the one that runs this whole hoist system to bring us what we call a cage. So yeah, you don't see much as far as the ride down. This cage is all enclosed, so that way we don't get no debris or rocks or anything coming in from the skids.
Oh yes, like to ride a fucking
The elevator
box,
rattles as we descend about a half-mile underground in just a few minutes. And honestly, it reminded me a bit of the Tower of Terror ride at Disneyland.
The shaft goes down to 3,150, but we'll stop at 2,280.
The next part felt more like the Indiana Jones ride as we hopped into pickup trucks and entered a miles-long maze of tunnels that all start to look the same.
You guys come on through, bro. Lead them their way.
Finally, we reached this heading where Marco Castaneda is operating a massive jumbo, drilling out dozens of holes in a grid pattern.
I listened to this in a little bit about how they.
The hardest part is learning it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, other than that, like I said, it's muscle memory after that. So the screen, it's telling you how fast it's drilling, right? So each screen divides each side. So you got your water pressure. It'll tell you everything: water pressure, how fast it's drilling. So I'll get everything all drilled out, and then we normally do a powder order that then I tell them what to load or whatever. So in this case, everything where it hits is going to get loaded, except for the back. We're going to go take it easy on the back so it doesn't break too high. I'm only going to drill 8 foot. So once it hits the 8 foot mark, I'll press that same button and it comes back. It'll blow out the hole and then it retracts back. Then I could move on to the next hole.
Later, the powder team will put explosives in the holes, and once every sole is above ground,
this is how you get gold out.
45-ton haul trucks will carry the ore to this conveyor belt.
Look at this
and
conveyor
hoisted
belts.
up and out.
So this is the end result of all the hard work that goes on in the mine.
Then the magic happens at the processing plant.
Processing plant is a single refractory process. So that means it's an autoclave, two autoclaves, fairly big pressure vessel that operates under high temperature, high pressure to oxidize the ore and expose the gold. We recover the gold.
Turquoise Ridge is a 365-day-a-year operation. The 900 or so employees and contractors here produce 500,000 ounces of gold a year, continuing the tradition that began in the mid-1800s.
The culture and the
That's a lot
economics
of
of
gold every
mining
year.
have been in Nevada before we even had statehood.
Amanda Hilton, president of the Nevada Mining Association, says the reason Nevada became a state was because of the Comstock lode in Virginia City.
Yeah,
UNR
until the
history professor
Comstock.
Dr. Eric Nystrom says mining brought droves of people to Nevada, and many of them settled down here.
In the 19th century, once they found Virginia City, they found the Comstock lode in 1859. Lots of people rushed here, right? It was a big rush to, they called it Washoe, a rush to Washoe. Most folks who got here figured out that somebody else had gotten here first. They couldn't claim the mines that were already claimed. And so plenty of them got to working for other people, in wages, but some went out and tried to find more. And so within a few years, there were waves of people exploring the desert, outside of Virginia City, and they found a few, right? So Austin was a big one. And then each of these big discoveries became the nucleus for other discoveries in the area.
Silver was the key element found in the Comstock, but Nevada is rich with many minerals. 20 plus elements are mined in Nevada today, including copper, barite, and more recently, lithium. But gold takes the cake.
We produced 3.5 million ounces of gold in 2024, and we produced more than 70% of our country's gold.
Hey there, fellow growers. I'm Aviva. You've got to check out this superstar of a microbe hiding in this tiny granule over here.
That year. We also produced 5.4 million ounces of silver. So a little bit more silver, but the value of gold is so much higher than the value of silver.
The total production
So they actually produce more silver than gold, and they're talking about gold here.
value of all minerals mined in Nevada last year, $12.6 billion.
Today, the mining industry employs over 30,000 Nevadans with great paying jobs and great benefits. So many processes have been put in place and improvements have been made that mining is now considered one of the safest industries in Nevada. In fact, its safety statistics are comparable to finance.
What's the biggest misconception or misunderstanding about this line of work?
In my honest opinion, I think people think that mining is bad for the environment, and it's very, very far from the truth. I think it's up to us to ensure that we leave a lasting legacy and we leave the place in a better condition than what we received it. We deploy processes and methods that is really good for wildlife. Make sure that we don't pollute rivers and watercourses.
The state of Nevada currently holds $4.5 billion in reclamation bonds just to ensure that all of that work can be done, but our operators take care of that work on a concurrent basis.
From pioneers striking it rich in the Comstock to the minerals necessary in the green energy transition, Nevada continues to lead the way in digging up the elements needed for the modern world.
Mining isn't just something we used to do in the past. Mining is a part of Nevada's story today. And Nevada remains the strategic solution to solving some of the supply chain gaps our country has. So, as a Nevadan, as an American, we can all join together in celebrating the history and the future of Nevada's mining industry.
Here's something interesting for y'all. I'm going to share a screen here. Gold and Silver was asking about, hey, what's up there? Gold and Silver was asking if that was Australia, South Africa, or Nevada. It was Nevada. But since he brought that up, I figured, let's see, I would give you guys some statistics. And this is only South African gold mines. I Googled this because I already know it's factual. It says, I asked, does South Africa lose money on their gold mines? Now, gold prices are going up. We know this. So the answer to, is South Africa losing money in their gold mines? The answer is yes. South Africa has experienced significant economic losses in its gold mining sector, with up to 75% of its mines becoming unprofitable as of 2018 due to declining reserves and rising cost, illegal mining, cost of the economy over 21 to 60 billion rand annually, while combining high electricity, labor, safety cost, and legal operations have been forced to close. This is the same area. Now, this is South Africa, people. This is the same area where 80% of the platinum in the world's mined, and these people can't even make money on their gold mines with gold prices going up. They say they're declining reserves, so that's why they're losing money. No, it's theft from the One Belt Road Initiative in China, for which I've already explained to you guys. But anyhow, I saw that. I was like, ooh, let's talk about it since it's gold. And supposedly, according to Andy Sheckman, South Africa has the highest GDP in Africa, even though since 2018, they've lost up to 75% of their mines being profitable, being not profitable, which I guess doesn't affect your GDP. I mean, these are lies that people on YouTube are telling you. I mean, this is 2018. 2018. Up to 75% of mines becoming unprofitable as of 2018 due to declining reserves and rising cost of illegal mining. 2018 was 8 years ago. For 8 years, South Africa has been losing money on their gold mines. Has anyone told you about this? Has anyone told you that for 8 years, South Africa has been losing money on their gold mines? How do you lose money on your gold mines when gold price keeps going up? This is an anomaly no one wants to talk about. But people out there from Liberty and Finance, the owner, is going to tell you that South Africa is the leader of gold production and GDP in Africa. And I totally am against him on that thought because I know the facts. And I have said for years, West Africa is the gold mining capital of Africa and is the GDP leader for the next phase of African development. South Africa is going bankrupt. I've said this several times, and I'm going to say it again. South Africa, what's up, Mo? South Africa has been going bankrupt since 2018. They have not made money on gold since 2018. For 8 years, they've been losing money on gold mines. Please explain to me how you lose money in gold mines when you're supposed to be the gold-rich area of Africa, and you've been losing money since 2018 on your gold mines. How long can you stay functioning as a country? See what I'm saying? South Africa has been poopified. It has been poopified for 8 years. It has declined down to zero. I did a program where a Johannesburg street gang took over a 15-story high-rise building, and they're calling it their gang headquarters. Kicked out, threw out the window, murdered everyone in there, and the government can't get this gang out of a 15-story building. The number one industry in South Africa that employs over 2.5 million people is private security, because they're the murder capital of the world with, I believe, like 23,000 people a year murdered. All this has been going on, and they're saying South Africa's safe and the white people aren't being slaughtered. Okay, sure. And gold mines don't lose money, and gangs don't take over 15-story buildings in the capital. Hold on, wait. Both those things are true. So apparently someone's lying to you, and it's not me. So, yeah, West Africa, Sahel nations, that's where the next GDP leader of Africa is. Please inform Andy Sheckman so he can get knowledged up on this stuff so he doesn't keep telling people lies. I do hate people who are popular not telling the truth. Oh, here's something good about gold, too, in America. It's a little shorty, a little 1 minute. This is from the Washington Examiner. Even though I don't care about them, I'll give them a thumbs up because I don't want them to give me a strike. This is House passes measure to mint a $2.50 coin for America's 250th birthday. How cool. And oh, look, a Representative Robert Aderholt, a Republican from Alabama, talking about it.
Authorizes the Secretary of the Treasury to issue a $2.50 collectible anniversary coin and a viability study for a potential circulating $2.50.
Hold on. We're going to get rid of the penny and the nickel and come up with a $2.50 coin. Can you see where the economy is going?
Cents coin for everyday use for every American.
The House unanimously passed a bill authorizing a special collectible coin to be minted in honor of the United States' 250th anniversary of independence. The bill, spearheaded by Representative Robert Aderholt, is headed to President Donald Trump's desk for final approval. It would require the Treasury Department to mint a $2.50 coin by July 4th and feature the historic design originally issued for America's 150th anniversary in 1926, updated to reflect the new milestone, according to Aderholt's office. The congressman said it is designed to ensure the public has a tangible way to take part in the milestone. The bill also calls for a study on whether the coin could be used for everyday circulation. The House also passed a measure to create a congressional time capsule. Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman's bill has already passed the Senate and is now heading to the president's desk to be signed into law. It would authorize the architect of the Capitol to bury a time capsule commemorating the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence to be opened on the country's 500th anniversary in 2276.
Little future update for new coinage coming out for here in America. We're going to be getting a $2.50 coin. So we get, now think of inflation, think of devaluation of money, think of all this stuff. Now it's just convenient that we're having a 250-year celebration, but it is very, very convenient because you heard the Republican from Alabama stating that they would like to have it for permanent circulation. So now we're going to where you need two $1 bills and a quarter to where you only need a coin to cover $2.50. It sounds like they are anticipating our pocket change to go from, well, since they're taking away the penny and they're probably going to take away the nickel, apparently things are going to be over 10 cents at the cheapest. And they're looking at coming up with a coin that we can carry in our pockets to help cover the higher price of goods and services by the creation of a new coin, while taking away the penny and the soon-to-be maybe nickel. Yeah, you got that one right. And it's going to be hard for them to be making change. See, now all the pricing has to change to where 99 cents is not a thing. It's going to be 95 cents or $1. And soon it'll be 90 cents or $1 or $1.10 because we're going to get rid of the nickel too. So you can't make change in denominations of pennies or nickels. So denominations have to be in 10-cent intervals. And that's why I said, look at the economy, see why the government's looking to print $2.50 coinage when we used to have pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters in our pocket. Now we're going to have a $1 bill, $2.50 bill, and they'll probably come up with a $5 bill in coin form. But it's just interesting the way these things are going. But the most important video I wanted to show you guys was my baby, Platinum. and a huge fan that I am of Elon Musk, and I want to follow the direction he's gone to become a trillionaire. This report is about a trillionaire, the only trillionaire on the planet. And this says, this is Industrial Revival. He's only got 2,100 subscribers. I am going to have to post his thingamajigger in chat. Yeah, exactly. They want to round up so that way you take away, it's inflationary. You take away the small change, that way everything goes up because you don't have small change. This right here is this gentleman who's we're fixing to play his video. This is his video. It is again, it is Industrial Revival. Give him a thumbs up. I've already shared. I've put the link in. I might get a strike for this, but this guy's got some good shit.
Ounce of platinum. Humanity currently moves 10 tons of Earth. We scar the planet's surface, digging kilometers deep in hostile environments.
Pollution.
It is dangerous, labor-intensive work. The yields are microscopic, keeping platinum one of the rarest and most expensive elements in the Earth's crust.
Now, what you got to understand is when he says platinum's is the most expensive element, one of the most expensive elements, and everyone says, "Oh, well, no, gold is." Okay, well, gold is listed as monetary. This is separate. Platinum's not listed as monetary. Everyone yells at it, even though platinum has been used in money in Russia from like 1825, 24 to like 1842, 43, something like that. They actually did use platinum as money, but now it's not money. It is a critical mineral. So when he says it's the most valuable substance out there, the difference between a mineral that's considered money and a critical mineral is the fact that the critical minerals are needed for our daily life. Gold and silver, well, silver is because it's now listed as a critical metal. Gold's not listed as a critical metal. Platinum is.
Processing the ore requires immense energy and produces tons of toxic waste. This is the bottleneck of the 21st century. Our hunger for rare metals is outpacing Earth's ability to provide them.
Yep. Technology, not for me.
But 200 million kilometers away, floating silently in the vacuum, are rocks the size of stadiums. They don't contain ounces. They contain mountains of pure metal. The problem has always been visibility. Through optical telescopes, a solid platinum rock looks exactly like a pile of worthless rubble. We needed new eyes.
This is genius. Not weird.
SpaceX's solution utilizes the Starlink network, equipping next-generation satellites with gamma-ray spectrometers and high-frequency LiDAR.
See, he can do that because every 3 to 5 years, those Starlinks fall out of the sky, which means he throws up new ones. So as SpaceX wants new information about space, they can get a train of Starlinks, add equipment to them, and they can get like have 1,000 of those Starlinks up there with small telescopes on them, looking at different ranges of light spectrum, and they can get a more clearer image of the close-up universe than the Hubble's telescope could ever do, because it's a far away looking thing. So what SpaceX is doing with their satellites that are running around the planet, Starlink, is they're mapping out our galaxy in precision, and they're able to tell what elements and minerals are located in what rock that's in the Kuiper Belt. I did a video earlier where 5% of the rocks in the Kuiper Belt are about 90% platinum, and Astroforge is actually going after them. And this is a continuation showing that, well, Elon Musk is too.
Welcome to Top Heroes.
Top Heroes.
It all starts with a small fire.
A small fire, and then we go back to the story.
This acts like an MRI for asteroids. By analyzing how the rock reflects specific wavelengths, we can identify density and atomic composition without ever touching it.
Now, at this point, what I am doing is I'm asking myself, I'm like, wow, great. There's a lot of shit up there, a lot of gold, a lot of silver, a lot of platinum. We can't use it. And you're 100% correct. We can't use it. We can't get it down here. That's 100% correct. It's also 100% wrong, because what's happening on this planet right now? Are we changing over to a digital platform of economics where everything is digitalized and etherized and metaversed and cryptoed out? Because if we are, then we can mine this, because all you got to do is follow the laws. And if America discovers it, plants a flag on it, we own it. So we can't mine it, but we can leverage the value of it here on Earth. In other words, we can use it as a bank account as long as one day we guarantee we can get there to get it and bring the physical shit back, because we're actually going to need the physical platinum. But you can leverage 100 to 1. So if that asteroid's worth $1 trillion, well, you can get $100 trillion worth of value here on Earth through the digital currency network, and you can build all kinds of stuff to go out there and actually physically get it. And that's how you evolve your world from a 0.80 society to a 1.0 society. You've got to make that leap. How do you get those minerals down to Earth? Well, you can't. You don't have the money. You don't have the equipment, and it's going to be expensive. So you need that material before it gets to Earth. You need the value of that material. How can you do that? Through digital assets and the digital economy. Just a thought process, people.
They are creating a treasure map. While the world looks down at
What's up,
mines,
Chad?
SpaceX is cataloging the most valuable real estate in the solar system.
You shorten your name, huh, Chad?
The mining operation begins with the launch. A specialized cargo starship, stripped of life support to maximize payload, sits ready on the pad.
Oh, and by the way, with what I just said about the digital economy and how they can actually leverage any mineral on those asteroids that they find, all they got to do is validate that the mineral's there and how much of it's there, and they can leverage that here through digital currency into actual physical currency on the planet. What was my point with that? Forgot my point.
It blasts into low Earth orbit, but to reach the belt, it needs more range than a standard launch can provide.
Ooh, I was going to do a report on nuclear-powered rocket engines. I should have had that one lined up, but I didn't save it. But we actually have working a working prototype nuclear-powered rocket engine. Those ones will be the ones to go get us out there quicker, get the actual physical product down back to Earth faster. But again, for that, we need a moon base for refining. So we're talking 2032, 2034-ish. But it's early investors that are going to make money. You want to know why Elon Musk just became a trillionaire? Because of this advance that he's doing right here. He's already actually getting paid by his company and board members for retrieving minerals from outer space that he hasn't gotten yet because of the digital economy that I was telling you
about. This is the key: orbital refueling. The mining ship tops up its tanks in orbit, giving it the delta V necessary to break free of Earth.
100% there. You are 100% correct, Digital. We cannot leverage anything else on this planet. Thank you for proving my point. There's a $700 quadrillion asteroid out there, and they're going to be landing on it here very soon. That's why I wanted to do this report, because a couple of years ago, I told you guys they launched in 2019, and it was going to get there sometime in 2026. And we had to have a digital economy already set up to be able to exploit that advantage of owning a $770 quadrillion rock in space that we can't mine just quite yet, because we don't have all the rockets and equipment and materials to do it. But if we can legally own it and therefore make laws on ownership of things in outer space and come up with a digital economy, well, I'll be a son of a bitch if we can't fucking leverage that son of a gun. So it adds all kinds of, let's see, 700 quadrillion. That is 100 million times larger than the American economy. So it's 36 trillion. A drop in the bucket. We don't have no debt. And I know you guys are thinking, Neil's an idiot. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Wait till next year, people. Wait till next year. Then come back here and say, damn, Neil, you're a fucking genius. But I already know that.
Cryogenic transfer is delicate, keeping fuel at sub-zero temperatures while pumping tons of liquid in minutes. For the long haul, chemical rockets are deactivated. High-efficiency ion drives take over, sipping fuel to maintain velocity over months of travel.
Deplorable. I can only suggest you do a little more historical research on economies. Economies have been leveraged since the first banking system started a couple thousand years ago, and interest rates came around. That's when they started leveraging. So it's not a new thing. It's actually been in our blood for 2,000 or 3,000 years. But we can blame. I know you want to blame Trump for it, the Republicans, but it's actually Methuselah's fault from the Mesopotamian Empire 2,000 to 3,000 years ago is the actual fault.
Upon arrival, the physics of zero gravity makes drilling impossible. If you push against the rock, the ship pushes itself backward.
Now with the nuclear-powered rocket,
the ship's AI negotiates the landing, calculating the tumble and rotation to find a stable axis.
This is where AI comes in.
Contact. The ship doesn't land so much as it docks with the surface.
All those calculations.
To anchor, the ship fires hardened tether harpoons into the surface, winching it.
Deplorable. Michelangelo is what got us here. His magical thinking got us here. The Da Vinci's got us here. These people that thought outside the box thousands of years ago, that created boats and flying machines. That was all outside the box thinking. And it's so far been successful. There are people out there that are upset about the economy right now and think we should just throw away all of our history of life and start all over from the cave ages. But I'm kind of happy where it's at, because I know that if I have the proper attitude and I'm not disgusted, which I should be with everything that's going on, I can actually take advantage of it if I see what's happening, and I can put my money where the rich people are putting their money, and I can actually say, hey, I can either sit back and complain and have a miserable life, knowing that everything's rigged against me, or I can just, hop on the boat, make some money, go find my own island, cut everyone else off, and have a happy life. That's the one I chose.
Self-tight against the rock face to create a stable platform.
Yeah, Leonardo as well. Yes, all of those guys.
I've been excited to receive this for a very long time. The book, The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding a Civilization, is full of so much.
A containment mesh is deployed to prevent valuable ore from floating away. The mining zone is now a closed system. Once anchored, the primary crushers are deployed. Hardened tungsten bits designed to chew through solid nickel iron cores. The crust is stripped away, pulverizing the rock into a manageable gravel. Pneumatic tubes transport the raw rubble directly into the ship's pressurized refinery bay. first stage, sorting utilizes powerful magnets to separate iron rich or from worthless silicate dust. Induction furnaces melt the concentrate. We need the metal in liquid form for the final purification. To save onboard power, external mirrors concentrate solar energy to help maintain the furnace temperatures. Centrifugal force replaces gravity. The spinner separates the waste rock from the heavy, precious metals based on atomic mass.
That's where
automated lasers check purity in real time. Anything less than 99% is sent back for reprocessing.
And that's the expense. That's the expense in platinum mining. Is if it's not 999 pure, they send it back and they resmelt it, and it's got to be like 3,500 degrees Celsius, really, really hot to smelt it. That's why it costs more to mine and smelt and perfect an ounce of platinum. It costs about $1,300 to get an ounce of platinum in your hand. Now think of the economics of this. It costs about $800 to get an ounce of gold in your hand. Okay, gold's everywhere. So much gold's being produced since 2018. South Africa's been mining the hell out of it and losing money because there's so much of it. There's so much gold out there. South Africa's losing money mining it. They're not losing money mining platinum. It costs about $900 to produce an ounce of gold. It costs $1,300 to produce an ounce of platinum. So if you let the free market system work, that in and of itself would put the price of platinum 40% higher than gold. And right now it's fucking 40% of the price of gold. So imagine the economic gain and value if you just hold on to platinum at such a cheap price when the free market system actually starts working again.
The ship houses an automated foundry that casts the metal into stackable, standardized ingots to maximize cargo density. Flash cooling solidifies the ingots instantly, preparing them for storage.
And in space, flash cooling is a lot cheaper as well, because all you got to do is take it outside. It's real cold out there. Wow, I just can't. There we
go. Robots palletize the product. Efficiency is paramount. No space is wasted in the cargo hold.
By the way, this is all going to be done by robots. There's going to be no humans doing it out in space. This is the Platinum Belt SpaceX's secret map in infinite rare earth metals to infinite rare earth metals. He's got robots that are going to be doing all this, so there's going to be no humans.
The waste rock is ejected. We only burn fuel to transport the value.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use Futuro Frame's mini aluminum profiles to build
up. Well, never.
Not the garbage. The factory never sleeps. Autonomous systems run 24 hours a day, maximizing the extraction window. Self-repairing systems maintain the equipment. There are no humans to fix a jammed gear, so the machines fix themselves. Mission complete. The hold is at capacity. The ship is now the most valuable object in the solar system. The ship detaches, leaving the hollowed-out husk of the asteroid behind. The return journey is a coasting fall back toward Earth. Systems divert power from mining to propulsion. The return window is open. A high-energy burn sets the trajectory for Earth intercept. Guidance computers calculate the precise angle for atmospheric entry. Too steep, they burn up. Too shallow, they skip off into space. Arrival. The ship breaks into orbit, carrying the GDP of a small nation in its belly. Instead of landing the massive ship, orbital tugs guide the heavy vessel to a processing station. The gateway station acts as a distribution hub, breaking the bulk cargo down for safe delivery to the surface. Secure drop pods bring the refined metal down to ocean recovery zones, ensuring the precious cargo lands safely. Every heat shield is scanned. Losing a pod means losing tons of platinum. The pods scream through the atmosphere, using the air to brake from hypersonic speeds. Parachutes deploy, slowing the descent to a gentle splashdown speed. Splashdown. The platinum has officially arrived on Earth.
Beautiful thing.
Recovery teams secure the payload at sea.
By the way, this is Elon Musk's vision. The other program several months ago, I showed you, it was Astroforge's vision of how they're going to do it. So you have a billionaire and a trillionaire having two different visions for the same thing, asteroid mining. And then you got some poor white boy named Neil who's been telling you about it for years.
Chain secured, sir.
Inside, the cargo is pristine, ready for the market. The metal is transported to secure vaults under heavy guard. SpaceX stockpiles the platinum to control the supply, releasing just enough to lower costs without destroying the market value.
Did he just say he's going to manipulate the price of platinum? Is that what he just said? But not in those words? I think so. If you go back and hear it, here, I'll even help you out here. He said he's going to, Elon Musk is going to be manipulating the price of platinum.
SpaceX stockpiles the platinum to control the supply, releasing just enough to lower costs without destroying the market value.
Yeah, that's manipulating. That's total. Yeah, he's going to be a quadrillion.
Every ounce is cataloged and vaulted.
By the way, if you know how business works, Elon Musk isn't actually technically has $1 trillion yet. He's got approval from his board of SpaceX to give him $1 trillion if he can reach certain milestones. And those milestones put this platinum coming back to Earth by 2032. So he's met all of his goals so far. So as outrageous as this sounds and this looks and as crazy as you think it might be, it's going to happen, because Elon Musk cannot be a trillionaire without achieving the goals that his board members for SpaceX put in front of him to achieve, to be able to get that $1 trillion paycheck. So he's got $1 trillion on the line to make this happen. That's what I'm saying. Anyone have any less money on it, making it not happen? See what I'm saying? There's $1 trillion bet on making this happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
Basic economics suggests the price would crash, but with controlled release, the price stabilizes at a new, affordable normal. The supply is carefully managed to ensure stability while enabling new industries. The metal flows into industries, lowering costs for everyone.
Yes, gold and silver, 100%. And see, what they're not telling you, but what actually is happening here is if Elon Musk can actually do this and control the price of platinum, he's going to be the only, other than Clean Air Metals in Canada, who's going to be mining platinum for the next 40 or 50 years. Elon Musk, if he succeeds at this, will be telling what country can and cannot buy it. So he will literally be controlling the economies of world governments when this occurs.
It is the heartbeat of the green energy revolution, essential catalyst for hydrogen fuel cells that emit nothing but water. Vital for next-generation electronics and AI processors. Cheap platinum makes the high-tech future affordable to build.
Next generation. The next generation. Let's hear this again.
Vital for next-generation electronics and AI processors. Cheap platinum makes the high-tech future affordable to build.
Did you just hear that? I've been telling you, platinum is going to be required to build our future and maintain our future. Wow, Elon Musk thinks the same thing as Neil Hahn. And you guys didn't fucking believe me, but yeah, Elon Musk does. Interesting.
The real value isn't the cash, it's the utility.
Yep.
The world gets cleaner and more advanced.
1.0 society.
The cost of green energy drops, making a carbon-neutral future reality. But the biggest impact is in space itself. We no longer need to launch heavy materials from Earth. To build on Mars, we source materials from space. The asteroids are the construction yards of the future.
So what he's saying is the byproducts of platinum mining, he's going to use to build a city on Mars like he wants. And since he's going to control the price of platinum and the flow of platinum, he will be able to create a freaking city on Mars if this plan comes to fruition. So now I'm going to make a prediction by 2040, we're going to have the start of a city on Mars.
And in space, the metal builds the next generation of ships and stations. The platinum belt funds the colony. It builds the colony. The dream is no longer science fiction. It is an engineering problem. Legal battles will follow, but the technology won't wait for the lawyers. Abundance benefits all. We are moving from an economy of scarcity to an economy of abundance. The platinum belt is just the beginning. It is said the world's first trillionaire will be an asteroid miner. The race is already on.
Oh, hold on a second. Is that what I just said? Elon Musk has to have this happen to be considered first trillionaire and get his pay package? And they just agreed with me? Holy shit.
The platinum belt is just the doorstep to the solar system.
One thing, Callie, platinum's not the only thing he's going for. There's a lot of silver up there. And if you look at all the solar farms on the planet, there's 20 grams of silver per solar panel. Once they perfect the Prolavisky solar panel, all of them are going to be useless that are out there on the planet right now. The Prolaviskyite solar uses copper, not silver. So that means the hundreds of millions of solar panels out there times those hundreds of millions by 20 grams, and what you have is an abundance of silver from reclamation. Because for it not to be reclaimed, you have to, like you said, have it used in a missile. Now, if you also watch my shows, Callie, more of my shows, you'll find out we're leaving the missiles behind. That technology is old technology. They've got newer technologies, laser tech, uranium stuff that doesn't use silver in their missiles as much so as the ones they have today. We are because of technology, oddly enough, the same technology that's putting us in outer space the way we're going. It's actually increasing our weapons capabilities and technologies to where we don't need silver in them either. What we do need a higher price for silver for is so that as the geological structure of the Earth pretended being a ball, the first inch, easy to get to. The second inch costs a lot more. So to get to it, you have to raise the price of that commodity. That price of that commodity is silver. So to get silver to a higher price, you can then mine more, deeper, and have it more expensive. As I said, it takes $1,300 to mine an ounce of platinum. That's why platinum's $2,000 some odd dollars. It takes $900 to mine an ounce of gold. That's why it's like $4,000, $5,000. It takes $13 to mine an ounce of silver. So greed is a big part of that, because if they want it to take, if they take and go deeper for the deeper silver veins, it'll cost them like $30. So if it costs them $14, $15 now, and the price is averaging at 70, they would need to price would have to average out at 140 to get them up to where they could make money off of an ounce costing them $30 to mine in silver. So that's the economics of mining. And since we have government staged growth in our economy, they staged it that way. If you watch my videos, they just discovered a whole bunch of minerals and critical minerals, and actually America expanded our borders and consumed those minerals into our territory in the Pacific. Again, go back to my videos, I'll show all the proof of it, where we consumed 3 sizes the size of Texas as new territory back in 2022, 2023. 80% of these new rock modules, things they found at the bottom 2,000 meters underneath the Pacific Ocean that create oxygen, not plants, not photosynthesis, a new type of oxygen. Oh, no, it's not a new type of oxygen. Our knowledge is gaining, and we're finding out that not only plants create oxygen, but rocks create oxygen if they're set up in a certain form. You get nickel, zinc, and iron together in one module, and it has a certain cylindrical, spherical hole in it. It takes, and it has a natural electric voltage of 0.8. But if it has this hole in it, it jumps the voltage up to 1.2. That's enough to separate hydrogen from oxygen. And these rocks are 2,000 meters underneath the sea on the Pacific, off the, well, 80% of them are in new American territory. So we get the technological advantage and all of those minerals. Right now, we can't mine 2,000 foot beneath the sea for the same reason we can't mine in space. So here's a conversion thought process. As soon as we get to those minerals 2,000 meters beneath the sea, we will have the technology we need to get minerals off of asteroids, because the pressure at 2,000 meters underneath the sea is more than what you'd face in outer space. So that's why it's more expensive to mine further down in the crust of the Earth than it is to mine in space. You put all of these mathematical and company dollar figure amounts together to come up with a conclusion of how things are going to go. That's why I'm big on micronuclear, because I know for a fact if you take a look at the globe, look at Greenland, look at northern Canada, they're white year round. You want to know why? No roads, no houses, no cities, no cars, no infrastructure. How can you start a mine up there? Think about it. I showed you a video. They needed 22,000 ton trucks and all this big equipment. How are you going to get that big equipment across 1,000 miles with no roads, no infrastructure, no electricity, no nothing? Kind of hard, ain't it? Now, what would make it cheaper is if you had a micro nuclear reactor and you could helicopter it out and drop it, and then helicopter out all your other shit and start infrastructure at ground zero where you're going to be mining. Now mining just got cheaper and shit, but we had to wait for technology to catch up. That's why there's no mines, and that's why 90% of the Canadian population lives within 100 miles of the American border, because that's where their infrastructure is, because they haven't gone further into their country to pull the resources out of the ground because of the weather conditions. If an ice storm breaks the lines, I mean, if you're in a total year-round snow-in condition, your electric lines are going to be broken every day. It's infeasible to go up into those areas to get those minerals. But with nuclear reactors, a new technology is now being released by the government that we've suspiciously had for 50 to 60 years on nuclear submarines. So we know it's safe. So actually, they've got nuclear submarines up there right now. So we actually have small modular reactors working up in that area. They're just not civilian for mining. I've also done a report where the President Trump was talking to mining people, big industry, and they said micronuclear reactors are going to significantly increase the amount of mining they can do. So if they have to buy a micronuclear reactor for $7 million to start a mining project, that increases the amount that they are paying per ounce to mine. And if they have to build an infrastructure off of that micronuclear reactor, that also increases from $13 to $15 to up to $30 per ounce of silver to produce. Now I see with technology a way to open up the north of Canada and Greenland for all kinds of mineral exploration and cultivation and development and extraction. But we had to wait for technology. It's all one big circle, baby. One big circle. But once the technology's there and they turn out this first couple micronuclear reactors, and they're actually functioning and working in civilian and military above ground bases around civilian populations, safe enough to do that, you will find a plethora of new mines opening up. So what I would suggest is that you keep an eye out for that. And how you can keep an eye out for the new mines that are opening up is keep an eye out on the micronuclear reactor business and see who is buying them and when they're going to be delivered. These are all contracts that you can look up, public knowledge, public access. So if you find out like Nanonuclear Energy is going to produce, 9 micronuclear reactors for the Army in the Southeast. Oh, I did find that out, by the way, I did a video on it. All you gotta do is file a paper and find out the delivery date. Then you'll know when you need to start looking at the miners and find out when the delivery date for micronuclear reactors are going to the miners, which miners, and you'll probably find a collaboration of 3 or 4 mining operations buying one micronuclear reactor to go to one area of northern Canada right up underneath the Arctic to mine. So you can have 3 or 4 operations off that one micronuclear reactor, and you don't have to build the infrastructure going 1,000 miles to get to that location and maintain that infrastructure. You know how much it costs to scrape roads with an ice truck, a snow truck? They'd have to run those things 24/7. The way I'm talking about with the planes and helicopters and micronuclear reactors, you can now have, because of technology, a successful mining operation in northern Canada that you cannot get to today. That's where our new minerals are going to come from in silver. How do I know? Because in that area of the country, no one's gone to mine them. Does that mean they're not there? No, there's silver and gold everywhere. You just got to mine it. So what's the problem? Oh, they couldn't get to it successfully with all their equipment because of expense, because of the economy. So the economy is driving the price of or the amount of silver mines that we're going to have, and platinum. And I've actually done reports on the platinum and how the price of platinum is very reflective on when Clean Air Metals will be extracting platinum ore out of the ground. Is directly related to the price. And since I made that report, oddly enough, the price of platinum started to go up from about $900 to $1,100 up to $2,200, $2,400 within a year. Interesting reporting. Not that it's true by any means. Price of platinum just mysteriously started going up. Of course it's true. I've seen the correlation. I know where the platinum manipulation is. I know who's doing the platinum manipulation. I've done reports on it. It's plain and see for everyone. You just got to open your eyes, do the research, and you can find out. And that's where I just put CLRMF. Man, by 2029, 2028, whatever you have of CLRMF, you'll be sending me Christmas cards and thanking me. You're like, Neil, when's your birthday? I'm going to send you a birthday card. I made a lot of money off that. Bought it at 6 cents, now at $16, and playing dividends that are 10 times the amount that I bought it for. That's that stock. And the only reason that stock's like that, because in the history of the stock market, in the past 50 years, there has never been a new platinum mine open up on planet Earth. Imagine the significance of that. In the past 50 years, for most of us, our lifetimes, there has not been a new platinum mine opening up. Now, CLRMF 2028 will have converted over to the newest platinum miner on Earth. What do you think is going to happen to their stock? Come on, people. Let's wake up. Fuck gold. Do you want to make some money? Jesus. Willikers, Wally. Look at the real the facts. Oh, they got tons of nuclear experience. My dad's a good friend. And actually, one of my bosses for Calorectors, he was a naval submariner, specifically submariner on nuclear submarines with nuclear submersible reactors. And that was his specialty in the Navy. And he had a 20-year career. And then he had a 20-year career in iron worker, and he's retired. So that was about 45 years ago. He didn't lose all his hair because of radioactivity. He had all his hair. So nuclear reactors, micronuclear reactors are safe as hell. And if you ever do want to spend the time and put in the research and have an open mind, you'll find out that they've always been safe. They have always been safe. The smaller you go, science and math proves that the smaller you go, the safer it is. That's why when 3 Mile Island and all these radioactive things were happening, telling us not to go nuclear, the U.S. Navy was saying, these idiots are believing that shit. Let's go nuclear, boys. We're going to save a lot of money. Because the oil companies are the one that made that propaganda. And it was propaganda. I can show you guys videos of scientists back in the 40s eating uranium, and they didn't die for several decades because it's not as harmful as you've been led to believe it is. A lot of the things we've been led to believe on nuclear and radiation poisoning, all this stuff, yeah, in high amounts, yeah, oh yeah, it definitely can kill you. But as you're working on it, getting it to that point, no, they can't. It's only after you get it to the point where it's a weaponized, is it dangerous for you? Up until that point, it's not. But everyone thinks it is. It's like, wow, man, just do a little research. Don't believe some of the shit we've been told, because there's a lot of propaganda by big corporations. Look at glass and plastic as an example. Glass and plastic wars in the 70s. Glass was trying to stay relevant. Plastic was coming in, showing pictures of people with cut feet from glass bottles on the beach that were broken. And now so in the 70s, 80s, we converted from glass to plastic. Now look at our world. We have microplastics in every food we eat. Was that really a health issue to change from glass to plastic? No. It was a fucking propaganda machine by the oil company, the same oil company that got us off nuclear, got us off glass. Now look at what the oil companies have done to this world. These are facts. We do need to get off oil. We need to get away with plastic. We need to go back to glass. And luckily, they've got glass now that's as strong as steel as soon as they turn it out for us. Sweet, gold and silver, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Nuclear has been such a lie they're selling us. It's just smaller, the safer. As a matter of fact, you will never in the history of the world hear of a micro-nuclear reactor exploding or going radioactive or, whatever. It's impossible. There's too many. Physics dictates. What's up, T-Bird, by the way? Physics dictates that how they make them, it is impossible for them to overheat to get to that point. It's just impossible. They've done the math. It's fucking possible. Everyone should know this and everyone should be pushing it. But oil companies got us on plastic away from glass. Look at how that destroyed our world. Got us off nuclear, kept us on oil. Look how that's turned out for us. The Middle East. How rich would the Middle East be if we didn't have oil? If we didn't need oil? How rich would the terrorist nations be to do their terrorism? They wouldn't have any money to do their terrorism. They wouldn't be doing any terrorism, would they? Huh, interesting. See how this stuff ties together, folks. You just got to put it all together and you'll see the bigger picture. You can't see the micro without stepping back outside the planet, looking at history and seeing what the fuck. The Middle East was nothing before World War II. They didn't become a powerhouse till after World War II, where we let them keep their oil and we allowed them. Again, I've done videos on this. America is the first country in the history of the world who defeated and conquered other nations and did not occupy them. Let me ask you a question. With our financial debt, would it not have been advantageous for America to have taken over the Middle East and controlled all of their oil? Well, hell yes, it would have been. Why did we not? Wow, that's an interesting question. We could have. We already conquered them. We kicked the Nazis out. We took over their country. And then we built them an oil empire. You want to know why they're still beholden to us? Because they know without America, all of them would be on camels. They wouldn't even have cars. You got to look at the big picture. Get off your 20-year, 30-year, 40-year thing. Look at a bigger picture. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm an iron worker too. I'm really looking forward to these micro-nuclear reactors coming out, bro. I think it'd be fun as shit to build one. Of course, I'm getting too old and getting out. I'll probably never be able to, but it'd be fun for the next generation of iron workers. Being the iron workers supposed to be the backbone of the country. That's a good combination too. Someone who can build and someone who can operate. Keep the builder around for maintenance, keep the operator around and tell the builder where the maintenance needs to be. It's a beautiful thing. I just saw a show last night, Callie, where, they just discovered in Oregon, Clovis man is no longer the oldest and first human on American soil. They found camel bone and teeth and arrowheads and the knife used to clean game up in Oregon underneath ash level from when Mount St. Helens erupted last time, which was like 15,000 years ago. They carbon dated the shit to 18,500 years. They don't even know who was in America then. So we have a lot more history to discover about America, but I goddamn guarantee you the American Indians were not here first. They stole the land just like we did. So 18,500 years ago, new discovery, there were humans and camels. Like America had camels. And I actually told you guys about this in a story I did because as an iron worker, we were building the 4th tunnel through the Caldecott Mountains that takes you from Orinda into Berkeley and Oakland. From East Bay, you go through tunnels in the mountains. They had 3 of them, and they built a 4th one. And as we were building the 4th one, they were excavating out the tunnel, and we found bones to an American horse skeleton and American camel skeleton, showing that both the horse and the camel are native to America. And I wrote BML and told them, because they're slaughtering horses, saying they're slaughtering horses because they're not native to America. But ironworkers out of 378, while digging that tunnel through the Caldecott Hills or mountains, discovered fossils of not only camels in America, but horses. One-toed, one single hoof horses, one toe. Oldest horse bones discovered, American, here in America. So BML can suck ass when we go to kill those horses. Sorry, I mute it when I go to blow my nose. I had a real bad stint about 3 and 2 in the morning. I woke up nose running, sneezing, coughing. Dropped 20 milligram ivermectin, took some vitamins. Getting over it. I don't know. About 8 hours later, 9 hours later, I'm just now getting over it. It's a quickie. Ivermectin works. Dude, good call. Good call. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of need for that as well, gold and silver. And that's a great field to get into, especially that young. Oh my God. Yeah. And if you're not going to get into that field, I'm going to give you some personal advice, not financial. Look at those 2 companies. The first one's the best one. The other one's up and down. Yeah, you make silver water. I'm actually, once I get my finished product mobile apiary going, I'm going to have honey water, because I'm going to have 2 dehydrators inside the trailer where my beehives are going to be in, and they're going to be pulling excess humidity out of the honey to help the bees dry the honey to the humidity point where they need it to be to cap it, freeing up their time so they can go get more honey. But in doing that, basically I'll be pulling all the humidity out of the honey. So I'm going to be creating a heavy-based honey liquid, and I'm going to be looking for processors that want to use it to see if I can't sell it, because it's going to be high concentrated honey water. And I know they take honey and add water to it to dilute it down. And my new way of bee farming creates honey water by helping the bees. It's kind of cool. It's another invention I got to get into. I already got a concept working prototype. It all works. I just need the money to make it happen. So anything else you guys want to talk about? I thought it brought some interesting stuff to the table today. I hope it was enlightening, another way to look at things. Oh, gold and silver, I already got that covered, bro. in the design. See, the problem with the mites and the colony collapse, it was a problem with the hive design that everyone keeps bees in. And I've changed that up. And I've already proven that none of that stuff needs to happen to get rid of mites. All you need to do is change their house and give them an opportunity to get rid of them. Because in the Langstroth hive, they don't have an opportunity to get rid of them. They do groom themselves and get rid of them, and they fall to the bottom of the hive. And then when they crawl out of the hive, they have to crawl through them, and they get reinfested. So it's a hive design problem. I've already fixed that. It's that simplistic of an issue. I got a video. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Let me see. Group saved. Mine. Come on, get up there. I clicked the button. Oh, wow, where is it? This is very interesting. I can't find my video. And it's saved. I saved it. Specifically, I got a picture of it right here. Saved. Got it locked. And now I can't find it. Well, you'll have to go through 2 weeks ago. Here it is. Let me stop this video so I can share it with y'all. I'm going to show you a little something. Share screen. Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, if you see there, I don't know if I have this shared. Nope, that's smaller size is it. I need to make it bigger. That's as big as it gets. Okay, let me see if it's showing here. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, all that's all a waste of time. You don't have to do that. There's an easier way. And this is it right here.
Not honey, actually, but what will be honey. Pollen in there. Lots of activity. We fold the wings down on the side. It helps protect from wind and also in mobile transportation.
Let's see if I show it.
2.
No, a little further back.
Our bees are
I'm sure.
November 4th.
Give me a second here. It'll probably be further down. Or I might have to get that other video.
All I would have to do.
I might have to get that other video.
Come.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that other video up. Let me see, that's 3-minute video. I have a 6-minute freaking video. There's a 6-minute video I have. It shows at the bottom. I extend the bottom 6 inches down to where the bottom of their hive, where they come out of. They actually don't hit the bottom. They come out on the bottom, side bottom. Man, I wish the fuck I could find this. Meta professional dashboard, memories, saved, groups. It's got to be on saved. And the only one I can get on saved is this one. Hey, you guys settle down. Fuck. All right. Hey. Sorry, guys. Cats are being freaking cats. All right, I'm gonna stop it right here. You see the word honey right here on the E from this whole white piece of wood is a 2x6. That's the new bottom. If you know about Langstroth system, the bees come out. Damn, there we go. The bees come out right at the bottom. They got a flat piece of wood, and it would be right here because this is the box. Where my cursor is, this is the actual box. But that's not their opening. Their opening is right here where the E is, right here where the O is. They're two little holes, and that's 6 inches. And then underneath that, I've got a screening system. So that way when they groom themselves, the mites fall through the screen and go to the outside. And then when they come drop off the bottom of their hive, they don't even hit the screen. They fly 2 inches above the screen and hit the sidewall of that 2x4 and come out that hole. So the varroa mite falls wherever it is in the hive that they got groomed from, falls down through the 6-inch opening, hits a screen, falls through the screen, falls another 4 inches, and the bee never comes in contact with it ever again. And it dies out here on its own because it never comes in contact with the bee. And I actually even have a way to have the bees self-groom themselves to where, stop sharing, to where they use powdered sugar and hit them instead of smoke, hit them with a little bit of powdered sugar. They go into a grooming frenzy, and they'll clean, each and every bee will clean the other bees and varroa mite them at the same time. The only problem is on the Langstroth system hives, you have that flat wooden bottom. All the varroa mites land there. The bees have to walk through all of that before they get out of their hive. My system gives them 6 inches to fall before they hit the screen, and then another 4 inches so the bees never mess with them again. Oh, I don't have when I get a hive, first thing I do is I'll powder sugar it and get them into a grooming frenzy to clean themselves. And right as I move them into my hive system, and from that point on, they don't have varroa mites, brother. I've never, in the 8 years I ran them, they never had varroa mites. And that was through the second round of colony collapse. I had no issue because the issue was caused by humans. It's the box, the bee box that everybody uses is the problem. And no one's been smart enough to figure out that the problem is, hey, let's take a shower and wash off all this grime, and then let's go swim underneath the grime, through the grime to get out to the outside. That's what they're doing to the bees. Would you do that? Would you swim through your own shower water to get outside and consider yourself clean? I have two types, an 8th inch and a 16th inch screen. And I did a double screening because out here we have critters that like honey. So I double screened it 2 sizes to guarantee the critters, like badgers, raccoons, other things wouldn't get in it. And also using that system, dogs, bears, they don't knock over the hives because the hive's inside a trailer. It's impossible for them to knock over. So it's actually safer for the bees that way as well. And you can move them. You move 10 hives in a 30-second hookup. Take about 3 minutes total. Move 10 hives to a fresh area, a little over a mile away from where you're at. Reopen it up because they fly about a mile away from their hive. And boom, 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 boom. You can keep constantly going. You can start off in February in Maine in the blueberry fields and work your way down all the way through August, down in September, October in Florida, and you could be harvesting honey, getting pollination contracts, selling wax, getting extra beehives because of the growth of the hives because they're so healthy, happy, and getting food. Sell the boxes for $300 a pop once a month. You're getting $3,000. It's just selling bee boxes. It's the growth of the hive because the healthiness of it. The bees are healthier. They're gonna grow faster. And if you have it in a box like what I had, and you have 2 dehumidifiers on the inside,
you find out, study, research bees, the reason they spend about 80% of their lives standing over a freaking comb filled with honey, flapping their wings just to dehydrate, to dry out the honey to where it's at about 3 to 5% liquid to where they or 30%. Anyhow, I think it's 3 to 5. But anyhow, and then they cap it. But they've got to take between 70 to 80, 90% of that liquid. They've got to use their wings to evaporate it out. So if you have them in an enclosed environment like what my trailer was, and you put 2 dehumidifiers in there down to 20%, they're going to be doing the bee's job for them. So that means instead of one bee standing over one small comb for 2 or 3 days, he's only got to do it for about 4 or 5 hours. Then he gets out there and gets more honey. So your production increases exponentially. The health and happiness of your bees. Because if you see old bees and new bees, the old bee will land on you, look at its wings. If it's got some tears in it, they've been flapping them a lot. Flapping them because they stand over the freaking honey and dehumidify it. If you take that hard job away from them, you made their life easier. They are happy, more productive. I gave up that starting that company because it's going to cost too much money for it to be the first company I start. I'm going to be jumping back on it probably at the end of this year if I have the money from my gym company that I'm starting. I'll be moving to Alabama, and then in Alabama I'll start it back up when I get to Alabama. Because I don't want to start it up here in California as a company because they'll take taxes out. And if I start it up in Alabama, I'll pay like 1/10 the amount of tax, which means even if I fuck up, I'll still probably be financially successful at it because the state won't be raping me as hard as California does. So I have to think of the financial advantages of what state to start it in. And right now, my car doesn't have a trailer hitch, so I can't move it around anyhow. I got to buy a truck with a trailer hitch. And there's some issues there. I haven't been working for 4.5 years. So yeah, it seems like it's not the right time for that. When I get to Alabama, it'll be the right time to get that one going again. And I'll do it in detailed. Actually, Pete the Sasquatch, friend of mine, he's going to do a whole schematic for me. And we need to sit down and do that. And then we're going to have some sort of a machining company or manufacturing company make me a finished model. And then I'm going to turn it over to some people and let them run it for a year or two so they can get numbers off of it and tell me what kind of problems they're having. And we can work it out. And then I'll turn it out as a company. But it's going to take a little longer to do. So it's not the first company I'm going to be starting. But I've got it ready to start. It's going to require more money to start than these other companies. I can start my gym company with another $1,000. It'll cost me fucking $30,000 to start that bee company and getting it to a point where people can buy. Well, to get a finished product of the trailer will be about $30,000. Well, that's the problem. My method of mite prevention is the beehive design. I don't use the Langstroth system. I use the Sutherland system, the system I created. And I've got to be able to convince people and show people that it works. And to do that, I've got to have a working model running again. Because the first time I had it running, I had to prove that the bees wouldn't swarm. I had to prove that they were happier. That's why I was in front of the hive and with no suit on or anything. There's other scientific things I had to prove on the concept prototype that I did. And that part of it, the mite, was not a big part of it because I had already figured out how to take care of them. It wasn't a problem for me. I didn't even think about others at that time because I had other issues that I was trying to get out there and show people about the system. But yes, I actually do have, maybe on one of my live streams, I do have in-place hive boxes, not just mobile ones. And they have a screen bottom also. I actually think I already did a video where I showed that. It has a double screen bottom as well. And I'm calling it the Sutherland system. And to change up the Langstroth hive to a Sutherland system, all you need to do is buy the bottom, or actually you can make your own bottom under my style, and then just put the bee box on top of my system rather than the Langstroth system bottom. because it's also better for my system's better for the hive protecting itself from pests. Because if you have a 2-inch 2x6 2-inch entryway and you drill a 1-inch hole size for a wine cork to go in and close it up, they've got 1 3/4 inches. So if a wasp flies in to infiltrate the hive, it has to go through a tunnel of 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 inches. It only takes about 4 guard bees to guard that. They put out the signal. They have time to get other bees in. Those 4 can stop them from coming in the front way. Bees come in from the back way. And the way they kill those hornets and wasps and other things is they surround them, flap their wings, and get the temperature up to about 103, 104 degrees. Because the wasp dies, I think, at 101 or 102 degrees. And they can kill the infiltrator before it even gets into their hive because of the security system of that my system takes advantage of. That no one else's does. I will get on that. I'm actually working on gym stuff right now. But yeah, I can next week, Gold and Silver. I will have one in the bedroom and I will show it and I will give the dimensions. And it's actually even better than the Langstar system for holding the hive secure on the base because I use 2x6. I don't use that 3/4 inch shit. I use 2x6 and router in for the actual bee box to sit in like a 1/2 inch inside the 2x6. And so that way it doesn't sway back and forth and it's totally fucking solid. And the bees usually will help adding wax to solidify it. But yeah, I'll get you next week, next Sunday. I'll do a video. I'll have my bee bottom box in here, and I'll have a tape measure and we do all the measuring. I'll show you the front where I drilled the holes. I'll try and find some. Oh, actually, I know exactly where my corks are in my bee tip. So yeah, I'll do a walkthrough of the whole bottom, separate from the mobile apiary part. That anyone could just change their bottoms and fix the hive issue. Of course, there's no money in it. I mean, your guy will make money. I won't. But it's irrelevant. It's good for the community. It's good for the world to increase the bees. And they're dying because of our stupidity. So we kind of owe it to them. Now, granted, if you look at the Langstroth system of hive, you will see that he came around about 150, 170 years ago. And his was revolutionary because they were using wicker baskets. And they actually had to turn the wicker basket upside down to actually pull comb out. It's a very, very harsh way of doing beekeeping. So the Langstroth system was revolutionary 170 years ago. It's just, it's archaic now. Yeah, I've got all that stuff too. I've made the frames. I've got the waxen sets and plastic ones. I got the 8-inch and the 10-inch, 8 frame and 10 frame, the deeps, the supers, the queen extractor, all the brushes, all that shit. I got all of it. I even have a suit hanging around here somewhere. I just never used it. Because again, my system of beekeeping makes the bees happy. They don't fucking want to be aggressive. And my videos show that. But anyhow, yeah, I'll have that ready and going. I'll do about a half hour next Sunday. So that way, even if you miss it, you can go back and get the information. How's that, Gold and Silver? Or you can email me. And I'll make sure you get a copy of it. Wow, this went sideways. It went from precious metals and space mining to beekeeping techniques. But it's actually everyone in the world who uses my bottom, they will experience a better beekeeping experience. Probably increase their production. And yeah, that increases the amount of crops too. So it's good for the world. There's just no money in it. I'd have to come up with a system, build it all, patent it, do all this other shit. And I'd rather just the whole world have it. I'm a nice guy. I don't care. Free fries for everybody on this one. But now the mobile apiary system, That is actually a system of beekeeping where you have to have the knowledge of actual caring for the bee in a certain way, or else it will swarm on you when you move it. So you actually, it's a different technique I developed. It took me 6 years to develop the technique of beekeeping to work the mobile apiary system, but just the bottom, a regular beekeeper working the regular systems the way they do now in the Langstroth system works just fine if they shift out the bottom from the Langstroth system to the Sutherland system. Oh, dude, the state of California paid me $17,000 cash to extract 5 hives. And they did it out of at 5 different times. And they did it out of their cash expenditures. I didn't get a 1099 or anything. And that's one reason why I'm still out here, because I got a lot of my tax money out of the state by being a beekeeper, because I made myself the #1 extractor in Northern California. And how I did that was I took the initiative and called every pest control company in Northern California, let them know that I was an extractor and I was certified. I lied, told them I was certified by the state, but they never checked, and they never will. It doesn't matter. There's so much people just don't do. And I told them I was the #1 certified bee extraction, live bee extraction with no chemicals in the state of California. And I had the state of California and Sacramento call me 5 times in 1 year to come up there to different departments to extract bees. And they paid me out of their expendable accounts to where it was cash money, no receipts needed, because I kept it under $3,500 each time. It was like $3,200, $3,300. They just handed me the money and I'd walk off. No 1099s, no fucking nothing. They didn't do security checks. I went into a museum that they were opening up, a grand opening. They just spent like $45 million expanding it. And I got led inside that museum after hours in the security zones. I never knew this. In museums, they've got double walls. The wall you see the art hanging on is a false wall. There's a wall behind it. And there's about a 5-foot walking space where people go. And it's a very secure area. Not many people go there. These guys didn't background check or nothing. They led me straight through the back area, all through the security tunnels to get to one area where the bees were. Then I started doing my extraction. And about 20 minutes before all the crowds started to come in, I was finished. They handed me my money. I left. I looked at my partner. I said, do you know they just gave us access to about $5 million worth of art, and they didn't check our backgrounds or to see if we had weapons? And he just looked at me and laughed. He goes, I was thinking the same thing, Neil. So people have a fear of bees to where if someone comes along that can save them, they forget their jobs about security. At least out here in California, they do. But I got all my tax dollars back from California. Yeah, and swarm season. Here, check this out, Gold and Silver. If you live in a hilly area where there's terrain features and differentials, there's actually a swarm highway. What you do is you find out where beekeepers are keeping their individual hives or groups of hives, and usually they'll keep them there for a majority of the year that they're not using them for pollination. That's when the bees tend to swarm. And if you have like 10 hives in one area and they swarm, you'll probably get 20 swarms out of those 10 hives. They'll follow the same wind pattern, downwind. I called it a bee highway because I was able to, about 2 years, I was watching this one guy's hive. He had 20 hives, and I followed the swarms. And downwind from the swarms was a company. So I go to that company. I said, hey, you guys get a lot of, around the springtime and all, you get a lot of swarms? They're like, hell yeah. I said, would you give me permission to come out there and remove them from the wild? And they were like, please do. We'll pay you. So here's another trick. You can have honeybees, set them up somewhere, look at the wind, where the wind's going to go, put them somewhere north of a business that'll pay you to extract them. And every year you'll get extraction money by your bees swarming into an area for you to extract them. Tell me if that's not a scam, and no one will fucking check you out on it. And lemongrass attracts honeybees. So if you want someone's house to be filled with honeybees to where they have to get an extraction, you could do something nefarious like, and I would not suggest this to anyone, but just saying, you could take a paintball, remove the paint with a syringe, fill it with lemongrass, a couple of them, shoot a house, there'd be no evidence, and they'd be hit with a swarm of bees, and they'd pay you to remove them. Depends on how evil and how greedy you want to be. There's a lot of money in beekeeping. Let me rephrase that. I became the master of master beekeepers, and I know a lot of shit, and I see evil everywhere, and I found ways for people to fuck me out of my business, and these are the ways I found. So I'll tell people freely this information. There are, if you have train features in your area, you can find bee highway pathways where you're guaranteed that certain neighborhoods will every year swarms will go into those neighborhoods and you'll be able to extract them. Takes a little bit of research, takes a little bit of your personal time, takes a little bit of brain power, but you can make a lot of money. And it's not reportable. I've never reported one honey sales I've made. Government doesn't care. I never reported any extraction money I made because the state government didn't report it. So why should I? So there's a lot of things in this world that happen that people don't realize happen, but it happens everywhere. Just find a niche and find out intricately everything about that niche. And you can probably do that in every circumstance. There's always a way around. That's why they keep changing laws. Lemongrass is a good thing to do, my friend. Another thing to do is find out where. Oh, here's a trick. Man, fuck. I don't have. Look. Take a organic planter, like for a 10-inch round organic planter. Put two of them together, kind of tape them up, poke holes in each end, put a string on it to where you have two organic planters that will decompose over time. 2 1-inch holes on each side as you put them together, hanging from a tree. Put some lemongrass on it, and you could around swarm season. If you set them in the right spot, you can get free bees big time easily. I can go out today in Benicia, set up some, and within 2 weeks I'll have 3 or 4 hives, and they charge $300 a hive to buy them. Yeah, don't gold and silver. If you want to know anything about bees, talk to me. Especially if you want to know about the new better system that you will most likely not ever get stung by a bee again, and you will be able to walk right in front of their hives as you're powder sugaring them or whatever else you're doing to them. I have a 6-minute video I showed about 2 weeks ago on my live stream where I was in front of the hive, and I actually with that double screening system, I have a removable bottom on the trailer to where I can take, it's a latch, drop the latch, and all the bees that die, instead of the bees having to carry out their own dead, I extract their dead for them, also making their life a lot more pleasant. There's just so many great things for the bees in my beekeeping system. Also, another thing about my beekeeping system, if you use just the bottom with that 6-inch open gap, the bees will not, during drone season, they will not create the drone hive in your brood area. Because as you well know, if you've worked with bees, the drones are a bigger comb, and it fucks up 2 combs, two trays just for them to create the male drones. But if you have that 6-inch gap, which my system incorporates, they'll actually build fresh combs specifically for the drones on the bottom side of those racks, not interfering with their drone production whatsoever. And then you could just open up the bottom, pull that thing out as soon as the males are gone and drone season's over with, pull that wax out, boom, 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 and you got yourselves wax. You did not go inside the hive. You did not infiltrate their personal space. And that's mostly what my thing is. Let them keep their personal space. A lot of the problems that happen inside hive can be taken care of before they get to the hive. And my system incorporates a lot of that to where the only time I had to go inside the hive was to collect honey. I didn't have to check them. They were always healthy. They were always happy. They were always swarming. And I let them swarm because I didn't want to capture them all. I had 10 hives. That's all I wanted. So I let them swarm because I figured, it'd help nature and any other beekeeper out there. But yeah, anything you want to know, Gold, just let me know. I almost died. I got stung like 60 plus times within 15 minutes working with bees. And the status quo is 1 sting per pound of weight will kill you. So if you weigh 140 pounds, you get stung 140 times, you're dead. That number's rather high. It's actually probably 1 sting for 2 pounds because I'm 140 pounds and I got stung about 60 or 70 times and I turned white. My eyeballs rolled about. I almost went in anaphylactic shock and died. Of course, now these things don't bother me, but I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. No, they do not build the queen comb down there. Queen comb, they don't even have queen comb. The way they make queens is through a democracy, actually. If the queen gets sick or when they want to swarm, what happens is the bees get together and they have a vote onto which brood they will choose to give this chemical called, what is it? It's shit. Royal jelly. They make this stuff called royal jelly. If they give royal jelly to any one of the 10 to 20,000 brood, they create a queen. So the hive, if they're miserable or the too many of them or whatever, and they decide they want to move, the hive actually decides which which brood will become the queen. So the queen's comb is actually the regular brood's comb, because it's the royal jelly that's given to that brood that creates the queen. And they actually, down in Brazil, they have bees they just collect the royal jelly from. It's a non-stinging Brazilian bee. So most of the time when you want to order royal jelly, it'll come from Brazil. No, the only time they build comb under that 6-inch area is for the male comb, because it's the larger size. Other than that, it's pure defense and hygiene, and it works beautifully for both. The bee never, as soon as they they walk down to the bottom of the brood tray, and they just drop down, turn, start flying, hit the side, walk through the tunnel. They're out. They don't even touch the bottom. The Langstroth system, they go all the way down to the bottom of the frame, drop onto the bottom, walk through all the varroa mites, get to the outside, and fly away infected. Yeah, a lot of campuses don't like bees, bro. 30% of humans are allergic to bees. 100% of us will die if we don't have them. 95% of us will die if we don't have them. But anyhow, this is going on for about an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. I hope that you realize that space mining is going to happen. And robots are going to do it, and you need to invest into it. Oh, yeah, definitely put it out in the country. I had mine where that video I showed you, it was on 1,800 acres right off the Napa River. 2 brother billionaires owned the land. And I talked to them about my experiment, told them what I needed. They said they had their own private orchard, and I could do it there because they wanted their shit pollinated anyhow. So I had my bees on a private orchard for 2 years doing the experiments. And then I took it mobile to do the other parts of the experiments to make sure that they work. You guys have a great evening. Thank you for showing up. Have a great week. Be prosperous and learn something. And remember, kindness is free. Give it.